Becoming a full-time freelancer in video production is hard. I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan of how you can start building a career as a freelancer in production. This is not about me. This is about you. What can you do to get jobs in this business? When you're looking around and you're seeing everybody else working, and why are you not working? Well, listen to some of these tips, okay? This is going to help you. I've been doing this for 30 years. So I have a long history in the business. These tips apply to all sorts of types of production, okay? They apply to video, audio, graphic design, photography. I mean, you can take a lot of these tips and apply them to any sort of creative freelance opportunity. It is a long game. I know people say that, and I know that if you're young and you're looking to get started, that can be a discouraging thing. It's just a fact. It is a long game. This is not a short-term thing. This is a long-term play. There are 4 main buckets that you're going to find work in as a freelancer. You're going to find work from those first-degree connections, people that you already know. You're going to find work from kind of second-degree connections or people that you just meet. So think crew people on other jobs and other industry professionals that you maybe are acquaintances with, or maybe second degree. And then you're thinking about definitely second degree. So people that you don't know yet, but the people that you know. And then there's online. We're thinking Production Hub, Staff Me Up, Glimmer, those types of posting places. So if you can find work by all those means, what do all these methods have in common? Well, you need to have a short answer to who you are. A short answer, okay? You need to have some sort of social proof that you are who you are and that what you're saying you are is true and accurate. And you need to have some place to send them to find the social proof. So when you have your short sentence and you answer the question of who you are, they need to have a succinct place to go to find out if that's true and to check you out, because they will check you out. Whether or not you want them to check you out, they do. One of the ways to have a short, succinct intro is to have a specialty skill. Okay, so we're thinking sound, gaffer, cam op, grip, PA, editor. Okay, one of those things, all right? Perhaps a specialty in some sort of niche. Cars, sports, faith-based, fashion, music videos, retail, some sort of niche. And then maybe even a medium that you specialize in. Short form, long form, documentary, narrative, music videos, weddings, events, and a latest project that you can chat about. So why does it help to be specific? Well, if someone says, hey, tell me about yourself, and you say something like, well, you know, I make videos. All right. That's not helpful. But if you say something like, hey, you know what? I'm a gaffer, and I really like working on documentaries about sports. And you know what? I was on a project last week where we were covering the local sports team. Or, hey, you know what? I'm an editor, and I love editing music videos. In fact, I was just editing a music video for so-and-so, okay? These are lead-ins, and these short, succinct, specific lead-ins sometimes can be really scary. Because when we're looking for work, we tend to think that we should be open and available and good at everything, okay? Well, guess what? We're not open and available and good at everything. Newsflash, you're not good at everything. And you should be trying to find something specific. So having a specialty and having a very specific skill that you talk about helps you be easy to remember. Okay? This is the goal. Easy to remember. So you're easier to remember if you say something more specific than if you just say, yeah, I'm just a video person. I make videos. Well, guess what? Everybody's a video person that makes videos. So find a specific answer to that question. And guess what? You don't have to always stay in that specialty, but you have to start somewhere. People that I see in this business that are booking jobs are specific. Yeah, maybe they do other things, but they're out there and they're targeting something very specific. They're targeting audio, gaffing, PA, grip, cam op, editing, something. Okay? So give it some thought. What could you specialize in? What are some places that you can look to find some leads? Okay? Well, one place to look is local sports, all the way down to high school. Okay, high school and on up. There's a lot of sports all around. Mega churches are also a good place. Even if you're not the church-going type, mega churches do have a lot of opportunities. They have weekly services. They're shooting a lot of video. They're doing a lot of content. And there's a lot of opportunities to plug in. Okay? So if you're at all interested, find a big church, start attending, start volunteering. You might find some good action. Local TV. Okay? Now, this is changing a lot, and it's not the same as it used to be, but local TV is a place that you can get some experience. It is a place that maybe you can freelance. It's not as easy to find, but I'm just saying it's a possibility, and it depends on your local market. Okay, it depends on the stations that you have, how big the market is, but honestly, it is a place to look. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about here is spec work. I like spec work. I am a fan of it, and I have used it to my advantage. I know that there's some people that don't think you should do spec work. I do. I feel like you should use spec work to your advantage. I want to talk about what spec work is and what it is not. Spec work is not free work for a client that can and should pay. Okay? It is not that. Spec work is a project that you can create with your current gear, connections, knowledge, and it can demonstrate the type of work that you want to do. Okay. So for example, if you want to make sports documentaries, then a perfect spec project is to find an athlete, high school athlete, college athlete, amateur sports athlete, find somebody who's an athlete, and make a documentary about them. And demonstrate that you can make a documentary about sports. Okay? Similarly, if you want to make music videos, well, find a musician that needs a music video. Make one. Demonstrate that you know how to make one. Same for narrative, right? If you want to be a narrative film person, well, again, I'm going to say, find someone who's got something to say, find someone who's got a short script, a friend, a colleague, somebody that's got a short script that just needs something produced. Produce it. Or produce your own short script. Spec work is a tool that you can use to your advantage because it allows you to perfectly craft a project exactly the way you want, in the medium you want, about the topic that you want, that can demonstrate the type of work that you want. How is this a bad thing? Okay. A lot of people get it confused and they think spec work is like giving a free video to a client. It can be that, but normally it's not. And you should 100% not give a spec project to a client who can afford to pay. Okay. I use this to my advantage. I wanted to start making sports documentaries, so I found a local high school basketball team that was having some success. I approached them and I made a documentary about them. And then I used that documentary to uplift my skills in sports documentary, and then I used it to book my next documentary project, which was paid, and it was for a professional volleyball team that did pay me. But if I didn't have that basketball documentary in my portfolio, it would have been hard to convince them that I could do the work. Because that's what it's all about. It's not about your gear or any of that. It's about finding clients that can have the trust in you that you can deliver on your promise. So if you say, I can make a wedding video, you better make a wedding video and you better do a good job. But the best way to prove it is to have other wedding videos. You can make a wedding video on Spec. You can find friends and family that are getting married and you could make wedding videos for them to demonstrate that you know how to make wedding videos. Okay? So the Spec project is an extremely important tool to jumpstart things. Okay? Now, here's some general advice for you as you're working on this. You need to be adaptable and you need to pay attention to trends. In the freelance world, things change quickly and you need to be paying attention. You need to be on social media. You need to be, you need to be paying attention. You need to not have your head in the sand. Okay? You need to understand that buying gear does not get you hired. Okay? I want you to hear that. Buying gear does not get you hired. Okay? Gear is a tool, yes, and you can't do the work without the gear, but most of the time, the gear doesn't get you hired. It is the trust that people have in you to deliver on the promise that gets you hired. Your social persona must match. Okay, this is a hard one to swallow, but if you're out there looking for work, people are going to look at you on social. Your social persona, meaning what your Instagram says, the pictures it has, the message that it's giving, has to match what you're looking for. Okay? You have to post. Okay? You have to post on social. You have to use social as a tool to demonstrate that social proof. Right? You have to, at every opportunity that you can find, you have to be showing people that you are working in this business. Social media is the way to do it. The other thing you need to do is you need to follow and engage with your current and potential clients. So if you have a client and you're working with them, you need to follow them on social. And you need to engage. You need to be liking. You need to be subscribing. You need to be commenting. Right? They're your client. They're paying you. Even potential clients, like people that you want to work with, you should be following on social. You should be engaging. You should be liking, subscribing, commenting. Right? Using it as a tool to get what you need. Okay? When you're on sets, when you do have the opportunity to be on a set, and we all have the opportunity to be on a set at one point or another, you need to get the contact information for those people that are on the set. Okay? If you get a call sheet, that's gold. Okay, that is gold. Because you have everybody's names, their positions, hopefully a phone number, maybe an email. On every single set, you should be reaching out to those other crew members. If you're on a set with a few people and you walk away and you never engage further with anybody that you met on that day, you're leaving a lot on the table. Okay? So if there's a DP that you work with, or a gaffer, or a PA, or a producer, get their contact information, follow up with them, do some coffee, do a phone call, message with them on Instagram, send them an email, engage. The end goal here is to develop a diverse client base. I was told once to make sure that no more than 1/3 of your work should be coming from the same place. That is a hard pill to swallow, but it is good advice. Diversify your client base. No more than 1/3 of your work comes from the same place. Also, you better really want this because it's hard. It's not easy. things do not always just fall into place. There will be hard days, there will be bad days, there will be late payments, there will be non-payments, but it all will work out if you play the long game. The other thing to always consider is being your best. Being your best person when you're working on set. Bringing your best attitude, bringing your best effort, bringing your best skills, your best contribution, right? Don't be lazy on set. Don't be just on your phone on set. Engage. Just be the best person on set. So after the shoot is over, they're like, hey, you know, that guy was like, he was awesome. He had a great attitude. Okay? That's what gets you remembered. If you find clients through people you know, people they know, on the internet, through social postings or job listings, whenever you find that client, right, it's crucial to have your short sentence. If you take anything away, specialize and have an answer to what you do. And it better be short, specific, and memorable. We're not doing the I make videos answer. Okay, I have used the I make videos answer. It doesn't work. Specific works. Okay? And then remember, they will look you up. Okay? When you meet people, they will look you up. They will try to find a social media handle, they'll try to find an Instagram page, a YouTube page, a website. They will try to find something that can give them the confidence to trust you. So close that loop, okay? When you find clients and you get in front of people and you have your short answer, you better close the loop so that when they go find you on the internet, it all makes sense, okay? They better not find your Instagram and then all of a sudden your Instagram has a bunch of weird stuff that has nothing to do with production. Now you can have Instagram accounts that have weird stuff that have nothing to do with production. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not going to help you book a job, okay? Because social media is a tool, okay? Very important tool. If you can do all these things and you can start booking work, it'll start building on itself. It's a long game. These things build over time. They tend to go in groups. You might have a time where you book a lot of work and then it slows down, and then you book a lot of work and then it slows down. But over time, the relationships build, the contacts build, the portfolio builds, and you can do this. I believe in you. You can do this, okay? So we will see you in the next one.